Shalom, shalom. My name is Tovaya Yasrael. I'm here today giving my testimony on how I came into the truth. I came into the truth in July of 2012, and this has been a great transition in my life since I came into the truth. I stayed in the transitional housing program, Christianity-based program, where we had to practice religion and serve Jesus and go to church on Sundays. And in this Christianity-based program, I still didn't have any understanding of the scriptures. The pastors really didn't teach us anything. He just, talked about certain things. I remember the pastors talking about the Passover, but I still wasn't aware of anything in scriptures. But I had a goal, and my agenda was to find who I was as a person and my purpose here on earth and who I was supposed to serve. So me being in my early ways, and I love the chat line. So I would get on the chat line. And one particular day when I got on the chat line, I came across this one guy. His name was Ray, and I thought our conversation was going to be on a different level, but it turned out totally different. That this guy Ray, he prophesied to me about Yahushua and the 12 tribes of Israel, and he talked about the Roman gods and all the other stuff, that I know now. And this guy, he really opened my mind that night, that we was talking, and I got a notepad and a pen, and I took my notes. So the following day, doing devotions, this guy, brother named Brother Donald, he taught devotions, which is Bible studies. And so I brought Yahushua to Brother Donald's attention, and some other stuff, and he did agree that Yahushua was his name, but after that, he just brushed it off. He didn't want to talk about that anymore. So he continued to preach about Jesus and other stuff. So I'm like, this is kind of strange that how he's supposed to be a teacher, but he want to brush off some questions that I won't answer. So I'm like, that raised a little bit of doubt in my mind about him and his character, as a pastor. So I start calling on Yahweh. I start calling on Jesus, and I start praying to the Father in the name, the Almighty or higher power, because I wanted to know who I'm supposed to serve, and I didn't want to be serving Satan or any other idols, because I know that's against scriptures to serve any other gods and idols. So my agenda was, once I got into my own place, which I did after 2 years, I got into my own place. I converted over to Islam. Still searching. I was searching. I wasn't committed to anything, but I was just searching. So. Um, and once I got into Islam, my neighbor, which introduced me to the Sunni Muslims, and from that point, I was still lost. I had a Quran and I had a Bible. I didn't know what to do with it either. And I would read and I would ask my neighbors questions. He would get highly upset and tell me, I don't need to know this. I don't, just all I need to do is just read what it's saying. That's what it is. And I'm like, no, that ain't what it is to me, because I'm not comprehending what I'm reading. So I'm asking him, because he got 2 years under his belt. So he know more about Islam, how to pray, how to, get me into it. But he didn't know much either, because he couldn't answer my questions. It was like them demons didn't want to talk to me. So I kind of weaned off Islam, had a little bit of doubt there, about Islam. And so, and and what stood out to me is, what really made my big break, is one day I was passing downtown St. Paul, and this and one Ak, he was passing out cars at Israelite Heritage, and on the car he had Yah and Yahushua on the car. So that what stood out to me, Yahushua, because Yahushua had been prophesied to me several times. This guy Ray, and so once I got the car, I was very excited. So I called the number on the car and I talked to Agnay Shakur, and he asked me about the 12 tribes, and I told him, yes, I knew about us being in bondage, because what had been prophesied to me. And he decided to meet with me. Him and his wife and another aunt came up to my place. They gave me DVDs, and we chit-chatted for a little bit. And they asked me how did I come across their cars, and explained to him about the guy who I ran into, the young Ak. I gave him a description of his appearance, and this guy, he looked like a foreigner. I thought he was an Arab. He had a long beard and he had an afro. He had kinky hair. That was stood out. And I'm like, so this guy never fellowship with them ever before. They don't know how this got their cars. They fellowship with a small group of people as we do now, the same people. And This guy never attended fellowship, but he got their card. So and to this day we still bring this up about this Ak, how I came into the truth. And from this point, I know the Father sent a righteous Malakim my way to give me a message. And I wasn't aware of it then, but now I am, because it's just weird just how things just happened and played out, in the order that it did. So for me seeking truth, I found the Father, and He opened my understanding to His words, and I am blessed right now to know what I know, because being in the world and practicing Christianity all these years, and they never taught me anything what I know now into scriptures. I know now that we are Bible's prophecies, and the Bible is our history, and can nobody tell me anything different or put any doubt in my mind about who the Father is and who His Son is, because scripture speaks for itself. And I am blessed to fellowship with the people who I fellowship with, Yalami Shakur, and the other people who I fellowship with. They are a blessing to me right now, because since I came into this truth, I never looked back. I never walked away. I never had any doubt in my mind. I know this is my home and this is where I'm supposed to be. And the Father, He wanted me to be here because He saw me searching and seeking Him. And I'm glad to be a great treasure to the Father, that He chose me, as His inheritance, and this is my testimony. Shalom, shalom.